In reality, men in the UK continue to be the number one predators, continue to be the most violent people, continue to be all of these things that they are essentially projecting onto other smaller groups, and it's creating this distorted view.
If you knew what you were made of, then we would save the world.
Okay, I know that YouTube and the algorithm is not a massive fan of this subject, so I'm not expecting any handouts when it comes to help, but this is a subject that I feel like I'm going to continue to bang on about, and that is, as you can see in the screen, bias in the UK news, particularly about certain subjects and certain acts that are associated really with one demographic but are being placed upon another. This is something that's been really heavily pushed by the UK media, and to be quite frank, always has been. They will always highlight with and magnify with a massive spotlight whenever people of an ethnic minority, particularly now the big deal is Asians when it comes to sexual deviancy, and blacks when it comes to violence. They will shine with a massive spotlight and make out like it's only those demographics who are committing those acts, when in reality, white men in the UK continue to be the number one predators, continue to be the most violent people, continue to be all of these things that they are essentially projecting onto other smaller groups, and it's creating this distorted view. So when you see the rise of the far right in the UK and people being sick of, oh, it's always them, that's not entirely the public's fault. This is something that is literally being manufactured and sustained by media dishonesty, by media bias, by lies. So this is being driven. We have to look at who owns the media and why they are trying to create these racial wars. And the sad thing is we're even getting social media bias now, because obviously Elon Musk has bought X and he's taken that same mentality and applied it to X. So it's kind of like not only giving a certain demographic this pass, like they're not doing anything wrong, or at least their demographic isn't doing anything wrong, it's also giving them the right to hate. It's giving them, it feels like it gives them the ammunition. But you're going to see here, for those of you who didn't know, that it's never been the case. This is just a lie that they are perpetuating. If you've lived in the UK long enough and you've got even any iota of common sense, you will know that this is a lie. You'll know that this isn't true, and you'll know that you're just believing what you want to believe if you truly think that the biggest risk to, you know, young white girls is anything other than middle-aged white men. Then you're living in a delusion. So, let's watch this, because I think this is quite informative piece of reporting here.
Hotels. These are the people who've been jailed this week for crimes against children. Oh wait, no, it's not. One sec. This is page 1. That was page 2. And these are the people who've been jailed since Monday. So now it's Thursday. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Do they all have something in common? Because I can't quite figure it out. Somebody told me that all these people have something in common, but I can't think what it is.
I think we can all see what's going on here. I think if anyone, unless you're blind, I think everybody can see exactly what is going on here.
I've got some more pictures for you in a second, but to the people who've only got the energy for this at the hotels, you are living in an echo chamber, a social media echo chamber, where you're only being fed information, where you think that most of these crimes that are being committed by these men are coming from one particular group.
It's funny, I did a video about this a few weeks ago when I first started doing these kind of reaction videos, and I said exactly that. You know, I did a video with this, you know, very aggressive, council housed and violent young white male was accosting these two Asian guys who looked like they were builders, who just turned up to do some work. And he's talking about, you go back to your hotels, and it's like, he just looked like Exhibit A. He looked like he was going to end up being one of these people on the screen. But as you may or may not have known, in the UK, one of the things I'm learning is that actually a lot of these people who turn up to these marches, they don't care that young girls are being abused. They care that young girls are being abused, and it's not them doing the abusing. See, What they don't want is the end of abuse. Just like, I just did an Andrew Tate video. These people love to misogynize. These people love to abuse women. They love to have their wicked way with impunity with the white woman. But what they want is they want exclusivity. All these people, these far right people who claim, and they're standing outside the hotels and they claim that they are looking for the protection of these white women, that's not actually what they're looking for. What they're looking for is exclusivity. Okay, they don't want to share. Okay, they want to do it themselves. They are the most abusive people, and the thought of them having to compete or to share for that right to abuse, that's what they're actually fighting for. It's scary stuff.
Because how many of these cases did you hear about? How many of these faces do you recognize? You don't, because you are living in an echo chamber. These are the people jailed this week for violence against women. Oh, wait, no, it's not one. I did it again. That was just page 2. This is page 1 of all the people who've been jailed this week for violence against women, all the way from stalking, all the way up to multiple murders. Now, this took me quite a long time to put together, but what's interesting about all the cases from this week, from the ones for children and the ones for women, is that these two people here got the most attention. Now, this guy here is some sort of medical doctor, so he made it into the more mainstream national newspapers, and this guy here, well, you can probably guess why he's the only one out of them all.
He fits. That's what he does. This guy here fits the narrative that they've been sowing and they've been sharing in the media for years now. This has been going on since the Rotherham 6 took place. Like, that's when it started, when they decided we are going to move this stain of PDF files from the white male. The white male must be presented as pure. Who can we blame? Oh, the something happened in Rotherham the other day. They arrested some Asian guys who were grooming some girl. Yep, that's them. They're the ones who have always been doing it. No longer will this stain, this disgusting reputation of being PDF files be associated with us. So you've got to stop there. No, we're not going to stop. Absolutely not going to stop. How else do you think we're going to feed the appetites of the MPs? Of course we're going to carry on, but we will blame them. We will absolutely blame them.
Who pretty much made it into every single mainstream newspaper. He did something very horrific and he killed his wife. But you know what? Other people on this page actually did the same, but for some reason they only made it into local media. It's almost like the media has a bias, because this guy got...
It's almost... You're right, I'm with you, man. It's almost like the media has a bias. Well, I know we're just conspiracy theorists. Surely, like, it's just a coincidence, okay? They just happen to be reporting the news that is important, okay? All these other people, these other crazy perverted white men, they're not important. They're not a part of the, they're not important. This is what's really important. This is relevant.
More attention than everyone else combined. Now, I did spend a long time trying to put this together. I can't say this is absolutely every single case, but I think it is. This is not people who are in court. This is not people who have been arrested. This is people who've specifically been jailed since Monday, as far as I can tell. To all the people protesting.
So that's pretty conclusive, isn't it? I mean, it's not like it's news. This isn't news. This isn't going to surprise or shock anyone who comes across it. I guarantee you that. Unless you're far right, maybe like you're Nick Fuentes following America or something like that, and you actually believe the crap that comes out of Elon Musk's mouth. For anyone who's from the UK, no one's gonna come across this and be like, "Oh my God, it's white men doing." We know who the perpetrators are. We know that the media is biased and is lying, but no one's doing anything about it, and unfortunately it's just providing the fuel for the growth of reform, for the growth of Nigel Farage, for the growth of the far right, for the recruitment campaigns of Tommy Robinson and all of these other absolute morons who are selling lies to the world about who is committed, not even lies to the world, lies to the people of Britain. If they spent as much energy actually trying to address and target the social problems that create this mass abuse that takes place amongst the native white British population, if they spent a lot of energy doing publicity drives and community outreaches to address this, they might actually start bringing the numbers down. but they're not concerned with that. All they want to do is pass the buck. The media is absolutely complicit in every single one of these crimes, because in every single occasion, all they've ever sought to do is abdicate the white man from any wrongdoing. And that's the sad thing. What we need is definitely a more concerted and joint conglomerate effort to deal with this issue in society, and we won't get it as far and as long as they're trying to scapegoat all of their wrongdoing on ethnic minorities. But hey, this is the UK. Don't catch you slipping now. Guys in my area, this is the UK. This is how the UK operates, and anyone who's from the UK knows that this is just the status quo. And what can we do about it? They don't care about the little guy. Anyway, that's it from me, guys. Hope you enjoyed that one. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.
If you knew what you were made of, then we would say